All right, everybody, welcome to Thursday. I hope you're doing great. Let's see what wants to come out for you right now. A lot of the readings that I'm putting up right now are weekly readings that, interestingly enough, the new moon in Sagittarius has shown up quite prominently in. And so when we're talking about the new moon in Sagittarius, I just kind of want to say to you, like, if you have some kind of like wild hope or some kind of dream, the new moon in Sagittarius is the time to like trot that out for the universe, okay? Some kind of thing that you feel is like a stretch goal or something that you believe is like way over your pay grade or something like that. Like the new moon in Sagittarius is the most optimistic new moon. It is the time to put that intention out there. Sagittarius believes in expansion and energy and adventure and things like that. Doesn't believe in playing it safe. Just saying, spoken as a true Sag sun here. So let's see what's going on. If you have a big intention, it's time to put it out there. All right, so we'll talk more about setting intentions as we get closer to that new moon. It's on December 12th. All right, so in the meantime, what's coming up here? Befriend your fear monster. Is there anybody having a really good night's sleep lately? Because I want to know who the 5 people are that are having a good night's sleep lately, because it ain't me. And I've heard from a lot of you guys that are really kind of like dealing with fears showing up just like out of nowhere. And all of a sudden, just like waking you up in the middle of the night. It's time to like look fear right in the face. Look fear right in the face. Okay. Something that you're most afraid of, it's like go right toward it. I talk about that a lot with the monsters in the movies, like the people who go right at the monsters in a way that is strategic and well thought out are the people that survive the movie. The one who runs away is usually the one who gets killed in those movies, right? So runs away upstairs. Don't go upstairs. You're going to get stuck in the house, like that kind of stuff. So let's not like run away from things right now. I think it's important to not, hide in a closet. Okay. Bloom where you're planted. This is about seeing what you can do right where you are. So some of you who are going to be creating these interesting, awesome intentions for the Sagittarius new moon, look around and see what you got. Okay. So yes, like I said, like if you want a stretch goal, if you want big success in your business, if you want the love of your life, 100%. But what is going on right around you right now that you might need to either take action on in order to facilitate that big goal or that big love of your life? Like, what's the thing that needs to be happening right now while you are, what are the actions that need to take place so that when that person shows up or that opportunity shows up, you are ready. All right. And your 111-year-old self, this is one of my favorite cards. This is definitely about what would you, if you had lived a life to 111, what are the things that you would incorporate into the next life? And also, what would you be telling yourself now? If you could come back to this time today as a wise sage, what are the things that you would then tell yourself? So look around for your own lessons. What are the lessons that you've kind of blown off that you're like, yeah, I learned that one time, but it's too hard to keep it up. It's too annoying. It's too big. It's too awful. I don't want to deal. I don't want to be negative, right? We have the new moon in Sagittarius. I don't want to be negative, right? But sometimes you got to look at those lessons and incorporate them into your life. We do have Saturn right now in Pisces, and Saturn is about the lessons learned. And Pisces is about our spiritual nature. It's about, are we going to stick our head in the sand, or are we going to expand spiritually from what we've learned? And Saturn says, eat your vegetables and go to bed at a reasonable hour, and like good things will happen from that, especially around your spiritual growth. Okay. So what is coming out for everybody? The cards underneath are the things you might not see coming or what's going on in the universal unconscious or your subconscious. Lovers. Okay. There is definitely a loud energy of love showing up in these readings that I've been doing. And most of it has to do with like taking things to the next level or making some decisions about what we want to create in our lives, going distinctly more happy. I think the Pisces reading was about choosing happy. Um, so there's definitely something there. The Seven of Wands, creating boundaries. The Knight of Pentacles, putting in the effort so you can take things, Six of Swords, to the next level, Four of Wands. Okay. So all of these energies these are choices. Every single thing I'm talking about is a choice. And I think once, if you are of the opinion that like life happens to you, I think this is now a shift in a more empowering way for you to see how you are impacting every single thing that happens in your daily life. You choose how to respond. Okay, you can choose by throwing a fit, to respond by throwing a fit, or by grounding yourself in the lessons you have learned and using wisdom. Wisdom. This is the Hermit card, right? Using wisdom. And, this is a good lesson that a lot of times if we have fears crop up, they are triggers. Those are triggers for us. And it's like, those are red flags. Those are personal red flags about things that maybe you should be taking on head on instead of letting them destroy your peace. Okay. So what's really wanting to come in right now is sometimes, good fences make good neighbors. Sometimes good boundaries make for happiness. This is like in the bullet dodged category. Like, have you made some good decisions in your life? And I want you to give yourself credit for these, where you have said no. And boy, were you happy you said no. Okay. Sometimes you don't know the whole story, but you're getting a spidey sense of like, I don't think this is for me. And you follow that. This is what it means to follow your intuition. And it's not always going to show up with the fairies, right? Like the intuition is that kind of nagging fear that says, I don't think this person is right for me, or I don't think this is a good choice for me, or is this really going to bring me happiness and peace, or is this going to be a repeat of an old pattern? So let's see what the reading says. You're showing up as the Hanged Man. This is about enlightenment. Okay, this is about enlightenment. This is about releasing yourself from constraints of previous mindsets, of previous habit patterns, of previous ways of looking at things. Your perspective might have changed. And if you're looking at things from a different angle, that's going to give you more information. And I feel like that's what's being asked of you right now, is to surrender to the process of understanding that you do have this wisdom. And if you are having some kind of fear about something, don't ignore it. Don't rub some dirt on it. Like, pay attention to it. That's your intuition saying, I don't like this. And it's saying one of two things. It's saying, okay, this is not for me. Or is this triggering some kind of past experience that I still haven't dealt with? Okay, so either way, it's information, right? Either way you learn. The Hanged Man, the situation is the Nine of Pentacles. This is about, I feel like the universe is saying to you that get yourself nice and grounded, because there's going to be a lot of choices coming up, a lot of opportunities that are going to come along, right? The Seven of Wands, look at you beating them off with a stick here. A lot of opportunities that are going to come along. You're going to have to determine the good from the bad. Knight of Pentacles. You're going to have to really put some elbow grease into determining what's worth your time and effort. It's not going to be necessarily available. The answer is not going to come like that. There's more layers to the situation that's coming in, the energies that are coming in right now. There's more. You got to peel the onion a little bit, okay? You can't make a snap judgment. I feel like your 111-year-old self maybe could. But if you are, if you have learned a bunch of lessons and you're working to incorporate them, then I think it's like these are new skills that need practice. You need practice. We're talking about practice, okay? Talking about practice. The opportunity here is to hold back. Don't jump in. Even if you feel like, wow, this is the person I've been waiting for all my life. Wow, this is the job that I've always wanted. Wow, like these opportunities are going to come across your path. I think more than one. And I think you might have to sit with things for a minute. So if you are somebody who's very impulsive, if we're dealing with this Sagittarian new moon, I might have been a little impulsive at some time in my life. And I don't feel like that's what's being called for here. This energy is for you to really take a closer look at what would your 111-year-old self say to you right now? What would you say to another person if this was showing up in their life? Hey, if this is a great opportunity, then you're going to need to vet this opportunity. And hey, if this is a great person, they are going to give you the room and the opportunity to ask questions, to take your time. What is it? There's no wrong answer for the right person. The right person is going to let you ask them embarrassing questions. The right person wants you to know who they are. They're not hiding anything. This isn't going to be like going off script is going to really fluster them. If this is somebody who's right for you, they're going to want you to be comfortable. They're going to want you to be happy. Job situation might be a little bit different. There might be a little bit more pressure to take some action more quickly. But I do think that if someone is pressuring you, as opposed to like, okay, I have a deadline where I need to make some kind of decision here, that's fine. But if someone's pressuring you, like if you go into a situation and they're like, you got to know 30 seconds, this is the contract, I would walk away from that every time. Every single time. Because the only time someone employs that kind of pressure is when they're not telling you the whole truth. Or there's something that they really want, that they know that if you kind of linger on the decision, it might not sound so good, 2 days from now as it does here in this office. So what's coming up? 8 of Wands, the Fool. Wow. 8 of Wands, Fool, and the 10 of Cups. So this is the energy that's just ahead. And you see that 8 of Wands is about fast movement. The Fool is about new beginnings. The 8 of Wands is also about communication. If you put a lot of effort into your communication, you're going to get happiness. Because either way, you'll be like, oh, I've understood that this is the right thing for me. It doesn't mean it's going to be 100% perfect all the time, but you're going to have a better chance of getting something right. And that's going to bring happiness to you. Now, this is big happiness. This isn't kind of like, well, things are nice and, I could get used to this. And no, this is like, this is the love of my life. No, this is the job I've been waiting for my whole entire life. A lot of choices. 7 of Cups. So this can bring in some confusion and it can bring up some fears from the past. There's a lot of things trying to vie for your attention right now. The collective energy here is very much about decisions that take us toward happiness and peace, as opposed to taking us toward struggle. Lot of confusion, okay? A lot of choices happening. You're really going to have to be sort of on your game. You're really going to have to be standing in your power. You're really going to have to know and see things, turn things around from a 360-degree angle. Like, don't just like, okay, well, I asked a couple questions. It's good enough. I really want you to spin this opportunity around. And let's see where we're going here. Emperor, Knight of Cups, 8 of Swords, the World. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to say to you is, I feel like you have an opportunity coming in, and I'm going to pull cards for each zodiac sign in the extended. Who's ever resonating with this kind of experience right now is on path to find a life partner. Okay. There's a life partner that's likely coming in, and I don't think you necessarily know who it is right now, the Eight of Swords. It's almost like there's a lot of things that you have to do differently than maybe you've done in the past. This Page of Swords, I think you need to learn to trust your intuition more. And you can't do that under duress. You can't, you can't learn to ride a bicycle in a hurricane. I always talk about that. You really are stepping into a new chapter of your life right now. The collective is really moving in that direction. And so I feel like a lot of you who have been really struggling with relationships over the past, I'm going to say 5 years, are going to figure out what your wisdom and what your guides are telling you. You're going to figure out the roadmap of how to make that better or end it so I can go toward something better. You're going to figure out how to step into your worth and your passion in your work. I mean, this is about the road. This is about the road to happiness. And how are you going to navigate that? How are you going to get clarity around the messages that are coming in when there's so much going on? So much going on in the world and so much going on in your life. So I'm going to continue on with this reading. If this is for you, I'll pull cards for each zodiac sign in the extended, and we'll get a sense of advice for each of you. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Okay, link is in the description box below. I'll see you over there, Pathfinders. Let's just keep going. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.